अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखाद् अमृतं द्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीहरये नमः, श्रीहरये नमः, श्रीहरये नमः।
Okay, so thank you. Just as we discussed last time, Annapurna garu, are you able to narrate the story? And I think you also wanted to say a few things today.
Sir.
You may switch on your video.
Forgot. I was talking about how I read that Bhagavatam is it starts where the Mahabharatam war ends. In the Mahabharata war, several persons are wiped out from the Kaurava and as well as the Pandava side, and the battlefield is filled with blood. And there Gandhari comes to see the whole bloodshed, and she is so very filled with sadness. And then Krishna is also there. So she tells Krishna, you could have averted all this. You know what to do. You could have averted all this. And you see my extreme sorrow which I am suffering because of I have lost all my sons and 101 of them. And in that process, it is said somewhere else, I read that only one son, Yuyutsu, who is born to another person through Dhritarashtra, and he is the only one who survived because he joined the Pandava side. And she is in such a sorrow that she gives shapam, she curses Krishna, saying how my clan has been totally destroyed. The Yadava clan also will be destroyed. And after the war, the Pandavas are the victorious kings, and Yudhishthira is the firstborn. So he is made the king of the whole Hastinapura and the clan. But they are rolling the whole thing. The five of them are rolling with a very heavy heart because several people have died, several relatives and several masters and gurus have died. And Yudhishthira rules for about 36 years, and they now want to seek the blessings of the God and reach him. So they move on to the Himalayas. Before anointing, before moving on, they anoint Parikshit, who is the surviving prince, born, who is the grandson of Arjuna, as the king of Hastinapura, and moves on. And when Parikshit becomes the king, that is the time when we find that where the first chapter describes the whole thing about Bhishma is dying, and then today we have the Kunti Stuti and all that. Subsequently, that is subsequent to all this, the Pandavas decide to move on, and Parikshit is the king, and Parikshit goes on hunting, and there he becomes very hungry and thirsty. So he searches for water, and far away he finds an ashram, enters into it, and he sees a sage there doing his penance, meditation, deep meditation. and he is out of the world sort of meditation he's doing, tries to ask him for some water, and the ego in the king, that is Parikshit, wonders why this man is not responding to me. I am the king here, and he is not immediately attending to me. And he finds a dead snake there, and because of he's a very good king and able ruler who is taking care of his praja and the people. But at that moment of maybe egoism, he finds a dead snake and puts it on the garlands the Muni who is doing his meditation. And this Muni has a son who is Shamik. I don't remember the name of the Muni. I remember the name of the son. He has this Divya Drishti and he sees what has happened, that his father is being garlanded with a snake. And he immediately curses that Parikshit in 7 days should die of a snake bite. Parikshit comes to know of it, and immediately he relinquishes the attachments he has with the kingdom and the people and his wives and all those people. And now he starts wondering, how do I reach the God in these 7 days? How do I reach the God? And he moves on, and he finds there a group of sages, and as he is asking them, tell me some nivritti or tell me some remedy or tell me the way I can move on to the Parabrahman. And at that time, Shuka Maharshi comes there, and he starts telling the Bhagavatam to Parikshit and the other sages who are assembled there. And that is how the Bhagavatam story starts. And this is the end of the Dwapara Yugam and the beginning of Kali Yugam. And first, Kali tries to, a little before the snake bite thing, the Kali tries to disturb people. And so he fights with Kali also. And Kali gets afraid of Parikshit, and he says, please leave me, don't give an end to me. And I have to go on with my whatever I have to bring in the people. So he asks Parikshit to help him to stay in a few things around and continue his. That is Kali Yugam is a Yugam where all miseries are all bad things people are to be, encouraged to do by Kali. So he stays back in a few of these things, like I think it is in alcohol, in Judam, that is in Judam, and in gold, and a few things he stays back, and he still rules all of us because all of us are going behind all these things, and we collect our own sins in the Kalikala. So we find that Parikshit now becomes a very earnest student of Shuka Maharaj and listens to the Bhagavad. So that is the story of that is the incident of how Bhagavatam is an aftermath of the Mahabharata war. Thank you. Sure.
Thanks for sharing that. I think also keeping with the tradition, would you like to discuss the storyline today?
The storyline today. We stopped. Can you hint
So
me
today we are talking about basically the children of Pandavas have been killed and they've also been cremated, and now Kunti, essentially they have all gone to Ganga to pay the respects to the departed souls, and then
Yeah, here we find in this chapter that did we discuss on how the Brahmastram is?
No, okay.
The
So
Brahmastra.
I can go through it, perhaps. Yeah.
Please.
So it's not much that happens here, but there are useful, very helpful and useful shlokas to go through as well. So last week we have seen how Drona's son Ashwathama, in a very evil manner, killed the young Pandava princess, and then eventually they were cremated, and so that has happened. And in this chapter, it begins with Draupadi as well as all the other women, along with the Pandavas, going to Ganga to pay the respects to the those who have been killed, the younger ones. And then I think so. Krishna makes his decision to leave to Dwaraka, to his own kingdom. Suddenly, he sees a young woman who is Uttara, distressed and running towards him, saying that she actually sees the Brahmastra coming towards her, a very red hot kind of iron arrow is what she describes it to be. And she's worried for the child she is bearing. And she even says to Krishna that you may, if you choose, to end my life, but please save the child in me. And around the same time, Pandavas actually see the weapons coming in the direction and assemble their own weapons to counter. Krishna, although he is the all pervasive creative energy, and there isn't a place where he is not there, everything is created from his own Maya. Yet he chooses to enter into the womb in such a way that he covers the embryo, the fetus that is growing inside, and shields the fetus from the effects of the very destructive Brahmastra. So it is described that Brahmastra as such is something which is very difficult to counter, but it gets neutralized because of the greatness of Sri Krishna's powers himself. So once that is done, that is when Kunti basically starts praying to Krishna in various ways, and she begins with saying, numerous times you have actually helped us, whether it was the assembly which was where the cheating has taken place, and we have been kind of exiled numerous times within the forest itself from various sources of danger. You have saved us. Even in the battle, you have helped us. And now even Ashwathama's the weapon, you saved us from that. And now, of course, again. And she basically continues to say that, please grant me a full kind of devotion towards you, such that I do not need to be reminded of the material worldly matters. And so there are a lot of shlokas which go on about how she praises him and worships him. So that's the most of the essence of it. And to Towards the end, Krishna decides to stay back for a few more days, or at least for that period of time, until he feels that they have all settled, because they not only are they grieving for a lot of losses. A lot of women have lost their husbands, children, family members on either side, both the sides. And interestingly, although the entire exercise of Krishna to help Arjuna through Bhagavad Gita has already taken place, Yudhishthira yet again seems to be in a state of grief, blaming himself for the losses, blaming himself for the unwanted uh, killings through the war. And in fact, it ends by saying, he says, this is important in the context that yajnas in those days involved animal sacrifice. And he says that no matter how many yajnas I may once again do, what's the point? Because that once again involves killing and bloodshed of animals. So that's where it ends. I think it ends possibly, I can't remember whether it ends with Krishna leaving, but somewhere on those lines, this particular chapter ends. All right, so let's crack on. Let's move on with from the beginning. I think today, perhaps, I don't think we'll be able to complete the entire chapter. I'll see how much I can go through. Sut uvacha atate samparetanam swanam udakamichhatam datum sakrishna gangayam puraskritya yayah striyah. So this is what I was referring to earlier. I won't go into the details. It is essentially a shloka to say that the women, Draupadi along with, and the Pandavas have gone to Ganga to pay respects. तेनि नीयोदकं सर्वे विलप्य च भृशं पुनः आप्लुता पादाब्जः अजः पूत सरिज्जले. Okay, so essentially they have paid the respects and cried a lot once again, and they basically paid worship to Krishna as well. Yes. Yeah, not in that way, but what it basically says is the waters were blessed by the feet of Krishna. Tatrasinam kurupatim dhritarashtraam sahanujam Gandharim putra shokartham pratam krishnam cha madhavaha. So Madhavaha, Krishna, has actually seen a lot of people there. Tatra asinam, there were assembled, seated. Kurupatim, now it's not very clear whether Kurupati here by now is Yudhishthira or is it still Dhritarashtra, the way it is worded. Kurupatim Dhritarashtram, but Saha Anujam. So if we take Saha Anujam, it is along with the brothers. If that is the case, it should be Dhritarashtra, Yudhishthira. It shouldn't be Dhritarashtra. So why now? Because the battle is won, Yudhishthira has become the king. So if we take it that way, so we should take it as Tatra Asinam Yudhishtiram Kurupatim Saha Anujam. And then Dhritarashtram, and was also present Dhritarashtra. Gandhari was there. Putra Shokartham, the one who was grieving for the losses of all her sons. Pratham, Kunti, Krishnam, and Draupadi Cha. So, Krishna saw all of those over there. Santvayamasa munibihi hatabandhon shucharpitan bhuteshu kalasya gatim darshayanna pratikriyam. Santvayamasa Munibihi. Along with the various sages, Krishna tried to console them. Who were they? Hatabandhun. The ones who had lot of relatives lost in the battle. Susharpitan, who are basically affected. Bhuteshu kalasya gatim darshayan. So he was basically not only consoling but reminding that at the end of the day the eternal laws will have their place. So kalasya gatim bhuteshu, the time, the eternal time doesn't wait for anybody. The time actually takes lives essentially, bhuteshu. So he tried, and the pratikriyam. So whatever happens with time and the reactions, we have to go through the flow, is what he had established, demonstrated, darshayan. साधयित्वा साधयित्वा जातशत्रोः स्वं राज्यं कितवैर्हृतं घातयित्वा सतो राज्ञः कचस्पर्शक्षतायुषः. Interesting use of words here. So sadhayitva ajatashatroho. Ajatashatruhu is Yudhishthira, the one who has no enemies born. In a way, Yudhishthira is not somebody who actually, his personality is such that he won't have enemies as such. Ajatashatruhu. Sadhitva, having established, having done whatever it was supposed to have happened. Ajatashatroho swam rajyam kitavaihi hritam. So swam rajyam, he got back his kingdom. Yudhishthira got back his kingdom, which was unethically stolen by Kitavaihi, wicked people, Duryodhana and such. Ghatayitva asatah rajnyah, having killed the various wicked kings in a way. And what did they do? What was the wicked thing that they have done? Kachasparsha kshatayushaha. So these were the people whose lives were already kind of weakened because they touched the hair. Now we know in the context it was pulling the hair of Draupadi in the Sabha, and therefore their life has been weakened because of that evil deed, and they have all been killed. याजयित्वाश्वमेधैस्तं त्रिभिरुत्तमकल्पकैः तद्यशः पावनं दिक्षु शतमन्योरिवातनोत्. Yajayitva, now that Yudhishthira got back his kingdom, Yajayitva Ashwamedhaihi tam tribihi uttamakalpakaihi tad yashah pavanam dikshu shatamannyoho iva atanot. Just like how Indra has established his rule by 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, similarly, Yajayitva Ashwamedhaihi, Yudhishthira has also thereafter made Ashwamedha Yajnas, which are basically horse-led Yajnas. It is also said horses are sacrificed in them. Tribihi Uttama Kalpakaihi. Now I need to see what this Tribihi here is. So it looks like something which I am not too clear. Some ingredients apparently. And then Tad Yashaha Pavanam Dikshu Shatamanyoho Iva Atanot. So thereafter, having done these sacrifices or yajnas, his glory spread in all directions. आमन्त्र्य पाण्डुपुत्रांश्च शैनेयोद्धव संयुतः द्वैपायनादिभिर्विप्रैः पूजितैः प्रतिपूजितः आमन्त्र्य पाण्डुपुत्रान् च शैनेयोद्धव संयुतः द्वैपायनादिभिः विप्रैः पूजितैः प्रतिपूजितः. So who was pratipujitaha? Krishna. He was basically kind of treated with a lot of respect. Pratipujitaha. Amantriya Panduputran. All these Amantriya having invited Panduputran, so the Pandavas, then Satyaki, Shainayaha, Shaina is apparently Satyaki, Shainaya, Uddhava is Uddhava, they have also come, and various rishis have come, Vipraihi, sages and priests. Vyasa Maharshi was there, Pujitaihi, the very well respected Vyasa Maharshi, and the various Brahmanas and rishis were all over there as well. It says Lord Krishna then prepared for his departure. I don't know where that is inferred. So basically it is an inferred meaning, I guess. The word is not there as such. It is an inferred meaning. Gantum कृतमतिर्ब्रह्मन् द्वारकां रथमास्थितः उपलेभे अभिधावन्तीम् उत्तरां भयविह्लवाम्. So what happened? Just as he Gantum Krutamatihi. Here it is actually conveyed. It was not conveyed in the earlier shloka, but here it is conveyed. Krutamatihi, he had made a decision to what? To go. Gantum. Krishnaha Gantum Kritamatihi Asti. He Brahman. Dwarakam Ratham Astitaha. So Ratham Astitaha Kritamatihi Dwarakam Gantum Ratham Dwarakam Gantum Kritamatihi Asti. So he's made up his mind and has ascended the chariot as well. Then what did he see? Upalebe. He saw Abhidavantim Uttaram Bhayavihlavam. He saw Uttara running with fear towards him. Uttarovacha Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Devadeva Jagatpate Nanyam Tvadabhayam Pashye Yatra Mrityuh Parasparam. So this is one prayer you can actually kind of memorize. So there are going to be a few like this in here. So the prayers are very generally written. It's as if it is detached from the story deliberately. So there isn't, it conveys the meaning of the story, but it is devoid of any mention of characters in that story. You see a lot of them at various places. So Pahi Pahi, save me, save me. Mahe Mahayogin, oh the yogi, the best of all the yogis. Hey Devadeva, who is the Lord of all the Devatas. Hey Jagatpate, the Lord of the entire creation. Na anyam tvat abhayam pashye. I do not see anybody else who can actually give me refuge. Yatra mrityuh parasparam asti. Where actually basically I'm actually where I'm facing death in close quarters. So please save me. So what is it again? पाहि पाहि महायोगिन् देवदेव जगत्पते नान्यं त्वदभयं पश्ये यत्र मृत्युः परस्परम्. So try and see if you can memorize this later. We'll move to the next one. अभिद्रवति मामीशा शरस्तप्तायसो विभो कामं दहतु मां नाथा मामे गर्भो निपात्यताम्. Abhidravati, it's basically chasing me. Mam, me. Hey Isha, oh Lord. Sharaha, taptayasaha, hey Vibho, oh the Creator. Taptayasaha sharaha mam abhidravati. That arrow, which is hot iron basically, is chasing me. Kamam mam dahatu natha. Hey Natha, oh Lord, you may choose to burn me. Mama garbha nipatyatam. But ensure that my womb is not disturbed. Suta uvacha upadharya vachastasyaah bhagavan bhaktavatsalah apandavamidam kartum द्रौणेरस्त्रम अबुध्यता. उपधार्य वचः तस्याः भगवान् भक्तवत्सलः अपाण्डवम् इदं कर्तुं द्रौणेः अस्त्रम् अबुध्यता. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Bhaktavatsalaha, the one who is so affectionate towards his devotees, like a mother. Abudhyata, he recognized that Draunehe astram apandavam idam kartum agachati. We'll add that. So apandavam, it's very just one word but conveys so much meaning in it. That arrow which was released by Dronacharya's son in order to make the entire clan of Pandava has come on its way. So this is what has transpired, having heard to the words spoken by Uttara. Tarhyevath मुनिश्रेष्ठा पांडवाः पंचसायकान् आत्मनोऽभिमुखान् दीप्तान् अलक्ष्यास्त्राण्युपाददुः. Tarihi eva atha munishreshtha. Hey munishreshtha is basically talking to others. Pandavaha panchasayakan atmanaha abhimukan deeptan alakshya astrani upadaduhu. So what happened? Hey Munishreshta, oh the best among the Munis. Tarihi, then thereafter, Pandavaha Panchasayakan Abhimukan Deeptan Atmanaha Abhimukan Deeptan Alakshya. Alakshya means having seen. Pandava, the Pandavas have seen five weapons or arrows coming towards them. Having seen, they have assembled their weapons to counter these because they have to protect themselves. Because that arrow was supposed to come to kill all the Pandavas and all the offsprings. Anybody, even if they are in the fetal stage. So all of them have to rescue themselves. Now, interestingly, Ashwathama's episode was over, but because he is left it like that, the curse, or let's say the cursed or the instructed weapons are still to be discharged, or they have to complete their work. So they are still on their way. Vyasanam vikshya tattesham ananya vishayatmanam sudarshanena swasthrena swanam raksham yadad vibuho. Vyasanam vikshya tat tesham ananya vishayatmanam sudarshanena swa astrena swanam raksham vyadad vibuhu. Vyadat is the verb. Who did that? Vibhuhu, the Lord, Sri Krishna. Raksham Vyadad, he protected. How? Who did he protect? Swanam, his own people. His own people are his own devotees. Swanam Raksham Vyadat. How did he do that? Swa Astrena Sudarshanena, with his own Sudarshana Chakra, he did that. Now it's not very clear the details as to how he did it. I'm not too sure whether he used the Sudarshana Chakra to counter those weapons. I have a feeling that is what he has done with the Sudarshana Chakra.
It is said he entered Uttara's womb Angushtamanam.
Yeah, but what is the Sudarshana Chakra here for?
Okay, that is not clear.
Yeah, so we'll look at it. I think it's most likely that the five weapons which are coming in the direction of Pandavas were countered with a Sudarshana Chakra. How we know that from the first line also. Vyasanam Vikshya, having seen the danger. Vyasanam will see, yeah, great danger. Vyasanam Vikshya, having seen that great danger. Whose danger? Tesham, Pandavas. Tesham means those, of those. Tat Vyasanam. Tesham Tat Vyasanam Vikshya. Now, here comes the important part, which is that, now, important in the sense, Ananya Vishayatmanam. Tesham Ananya Vishayatmanam. They have no other thing important in their life apart from their devotion to Krishna, is what that Ananya Vishayatmanam means. Ananya would mean nothing beyond him. Always remember the word Ananya. So Ananya Vishayatmanam Tesham Tat Vyasanam Vikshya. So having seen that what was happening to them, therefore naturally he went ahead to release his Sudarshana Chakra to counter those weapons. Then having done that, Antastas Sarvabhutanam Atma Yogeshwaro Harihi Swamaya Vrunod Garbham Vairatyah Kurutantave. Antastah Sarvabhutanam Atma Yogeshwara Harihi Swamayaya Avrunot Garbham Vairatyah Kurutantave. Tantu should usually mean thread, but Tantave within that thread. So I'm not too sure. Anyway, here the context is womb. So Kuru Tantave, the womb of the Kuru dynasty, whose Vairatyaha Uttarayaha. Uttara is another name. Possibly she is the daughter of Viratha and therefore Vairatya. So, of her womb, what did he do? Somayaya avrunot garbham. With his own kind of cosmic energy, we can loosely, very simplifiedly, we can call it magic, but it's too much of a simplification. But his own cosmic energy through which he actually makes this entire creation, using the same, he covered the entire womb of Uttara, Kurutantave of that. Okay. Now, there is another line on top of it, which is Antastaha, Sarvabhutanam. Now, interestingly, does he have to do it separately? Because he's already there in every creature, is what it is inferred there. Sarvabhutanam Antastaha. He is there in every creature as Ishvara. In Bhagavad Gita, it says, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani Mayaya. Ishvara, as Ishvara, Paramatma sits in every person's heart, every creature's heart. And not only does he sit there, he Brahmayan Sarvabhutani, he makes them literally play like dolls. Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani Mayaya. As if he had kind of ascended on top of a machine, and that machine then is made to move around. But how is he making this machine to move? He is using an energy, Maya. So that is the meaning of that shloka. So we all have the Paramatma sitting within us, and it is directing us how we should conduct our lives. It is supposed to be heard, we don't hear it. That's the only difference. So now that we have established that he anyway is there, why does he still have to be doing this? So the Leela is such that now this makes me think in a very at a Laukika level, worldly level, in that often the question we get to contemplate is, for instance, if we look at Advaita Siddhanta, the non-duality, it basically says the creation is an illusion and I am the only real, I'm the only reality, I'm the only truth. If once I realize that I am the truth, the entire illusion collapses to nothing. Everything, the entire world essentially collapses to nothing because I am that I am the truth. A good way for me to establish that knowledge, or an easy way, is I take the form of a bubble which is floating in the air. As long as the bubble exists, the bubble says to itself, I am the bubble. But it forgets that actually it is the air. It's not the shell or the I'll call it the shell. The shell. It's not the shell. But all it required for it to do was to realize that I am being covered by a layer of ignorance, and it tries to it removes that ignorance. When it removes that ignorance, or in the form of the bubble, the shell, it just pokes it. What happens to the air within? Can you make out this air to be different to the air around it? And that is what it's a good example for us to understand the Advaita Siddhanta, the non-duality, where I realize and then I become oneness. I don't then see there to be any bubbles anymore, or anything for that matter. But then, if that is all happening, what business does a God or divine form have in coming, taking an avatara, and then also in that avatara take another special approach, go into the womb, and then counter those weapons? Why would he have to do that? Isn't it all an illusion? Or is that actually real? So, for these questions, neither will I have an answer, nor will there be a convincing answer. I will take it that as long as we are functioning at a worldly level, all these matter to us. For instance, tomorrow I have to go and work, or there will be some um, people who are in need of help and I should go and help. And all these are worldly realities. Only when you are still awake in that supposed dreamlike state. So it's layer on layer, okay? So we need to really understand, let us not worry too much about whether this is compatible with Advaita or not. Advaita is the reality at the end of the day. It is the non-duality is the ultimate reality. But as long as we are operating in this worldly plane domain, everything seems to happen at its own kind of complex level of worldly reality. So that's the best I can say. Is there even a need for me to bring Advaita into this situation? The only reason I brought it is because it came to my mind when I was actually going through this. Why is the Lord having to go through so many pains to deliver people from difficulties? It is a question one has to ask. All simply he can teach them is, oh, don't forget, all this is an illusion. Don't worry, don't worry. He could do that, right? But that's not happening. He's actively engaging. But interestingly, we also know that he is an akarta, he is a non-doer, he doesn't engage in any activities. Then if that is the case, why is Krishna engaging in an activity? He's entering into a womb or applying a Sudarshan Chakra. He's acting. But in Bhagavad Gita, we know that नमे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानवाप्त नानवाप्त नमे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नामे avaptavayam what okay, I'm not getting the second line properly, never mind. So first line is important. Name partha asti trishu lokeshu kinchana. There is nothing for me to do in these three worlds. There is nothing I need to obtain. There is nothing that I don't have. Both. There is nothing I don't have, and there is nothing for me to obtain. I don't need to do any actions. Then in another place he says, people think I am acting, but I am actually not a doer. Another place he also says, but if I don't do anything, people are such that they'll think they don't need to do anything too. Hence, for their purpose, I perform, I actually act, I do things Although I don't need to do anything, I have to do, because if I don't do anything, all these lazy people will assume that this is how it should be done and they don't do anything. So you can see the layers of complications, and they're not contradictions. The multidimensional nature of our existence is such that it makes it quite difficult for a unidimensional understanding. So we'll move forward.
And at the same time, he keeps saying, those who worship me, I will protect them.
Yeah, absolutely. He says that, but that's what I'm saying. Does he have to? And then we go back to the same question and answer.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to, but he has to. Because if he doesn't have to, if he doesn't do that, everybody sits quietly, is what his explanations in Bhagavad Gita are.
It is his nature to protect.
Yeah, that's what. Again, we go back to the same point. Whether it's protection or not, it is an action.
It's an action.
Yeah. Yadyapyastram brahma shiraha त्वमो यद्यप्यस्त्रं ब्रह्मशिरः त्वमोघं चाप्रतिक्रियं वैष्णवं तेज आसाध्य समशाम्यत् भृगुद्वः यद्यपि अस्त्रं ब्रह्मशिरः त्वं तु अमोघं च अप्रतिक्रियं वैष्णवं तेजः आसाद्य समशाम्यत् भृगूत् भृगूद्वः. We'll see later anyway. Yadyapi, even though, astram bृहशिरः tu amogham cha apratikryam. This Brahmashira weapon, Brahmastram, it is something which is beyond comparison. It is a magnificent one, and it has no counter. Yadyapi, even though. What happens? Vaishnavam tejah asadhya. When Vishnu's radiance comes in front of it, samashamyat, it got neutralized. Bhrugudvaha, I think that must be referring to, okay, oh, glory of the family of Bhrigu. Okay, it's actually vocative case. So Bhrugudvaha is nothing for us to worry about. So what happened was that weapon got neutralized, although that Brahmastra is something which is beyond comparison and cannot be countered. Vishnu Maya was able to neutralize it once he entered into that womb. मामंस्था ह्येतदाश्चर्यं सर्वाश्चर्यमयेच्युते य इदं मायया देव्या सृजत्यवति हन्त्यजः मामंस्थाः हि एतद् आश्चर्यं सर्वाश्चर्यमये अच्युते यः इदं मायया देव्या सृजति अवति हन्ति अजः. Srujati, creation, creates. These are three verbs there. Srujati, creates. Avati, sustains. Hanti, involutes, terminates. What is it? The entire creation. But who is he? Ajaha, the one who is not born. Yaha ajaha, srujati avati hanti. Idam jagat. So this world. So what did he do? Mayaya, Devya Mayaya, with the divine powers, cosmic powers, creative powers, he had done all this. Now, interestingly, there is a mention in the top line basically saying, don't think so that this is actually confined to Krishna's kind of um, energy or utilization of energy, because or it's not confined to this act alone in a way. I think that's what they're trying to convey here. It's not very clear. It's not confined to this act alone, because people may start assuming, oh, this was done by him for this particular purpose. But it is just one little example of what has been done for the entire creation, because the entire creation was created with that same creative force, Devi Maya. It's called Devi Maya. And with that only the creation has been done, made, sustained, and also it gets involuted. ब्रह्म तेजो विनिर्मुक्तैः आत्मजैः सह कृष्णया प्रयाणाभिमुखं कृष्णम् इदमाह पृथा सति. Now Kunti started talking, and it goes on for many shlokas. Brahmate.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Brahmatejaha vinirmuktaha. No, Brahmatejo vinirmuktaihi atmajaihi. So muktaihi, now she is referring to her own clan. They have been saved by the excellent radiance of the creator himself, Brahman. Atmajaihi, of her own offsprings. Saha Krishnaya, along with Draupadi. Prayanabhimukam Krishnam idam aha prita sati. The noble lady Kunti thus spoke aha to Krishna, who had made himself ready to go towards Dwaraka. Okay, so that is what has happened. Then starts Kunti's series of shlokas. Kuntyuvacha namasye purusham tvadyam ishwaram prakritev param alakshyam sarvabhutanam antarbahiravaസ്ഥിതം. So this is another prayer. You can see it is independent. It doesn't have any characters in it. Namasye purusham tu adyam ishwaram prakritehe param. So a lot of things there to go through. We'll go one by one. Interestingly, it is namasye, and I tried to look for namasye. It makes sense, but I have never come across namasye. We know namaste, for instance. Namaha tubhyam is namaste. To you, my salutations is namaste. Namasye, on the other hand, would be yubhyam. Now, the problem is, I don't think there is yubhyam. Instead, it would be yasmai. So, it's not yubhyam, yasmai. To that, my salutations. That would be the way to put it. The uncertain, that one to my salutations. Who is that one? Purusham. Purusham, the one who is the reason everything is in existence. Adhyam, Purusham tu Twadhyam Ishwaram Prakriteha Param. I need to check tu Adhyam. Why is it Adhyam? Oh, the original. Okay, not the beginning. Okay. Adhyam, the one who is the original. Purusham. Ishwaram, the one who is the Lord of the creation. Prakriteha param, the one who is beyond the creation. Alakshyam sarvabhutanam antarbahihi avasthitam. He is also the one who is inside and outside of everything. And he is invisible. It says alakshyam. So it's a good prayer in that sense because it actually is at a cosmic level. Though this prayer is at a cosmic level, the next prayer is at a worldly level. This one is beyond the form of Krishna. It's not about Krishna. Here it is about Krishna just being a form of the formless state. To that my salutations. So that Purusham, Adyam, the one, the very original source, Ishwaram, Prakriteha Param, the one beyond the Prakriti, Alakshyam, the one who we can't see, Sarvabhutanam Antaha Bahihi Avastitam, the one who is in and outside of everything. So this is a very good prayer. Now the next one is a very personal prayer. So that was an impersonal prayer, you can say. This is a personal prayer. Or not this one, it will be the next one, sorry. Maya Javanika Chanam अजादोक्षजम अव्ययम न लक्ष्यसे मूढ़दृशाः नठो नाट्यधरो यथा माया जवनिका छानम. Javanika means curtain. Just like how a curtain covers, achanam means covering. Just as a curtain covers through, and here the Maya is the kind of curtain. Maya is the curtain. So because of that, adokshajam ajam avyayam na lakshyase, we are unable to see the original source who is unmanifest, unchanging, avyayam. Ajam, the one who is unborn. Adokshajam, the one who is the cause of all the creation. Because of this covering, na alakshye mudha. Mudha means fool, ignorant. Mudha na lakshyase. So the sentence would come like this. If we want to put it as a sentence form, it comes like Mudha Maya Javanikachanam Adokshajam Avyayam Na Lakshyase. So they are unable to see because of the coverings. The one who is the original source, we are unable to see. Just like how Nataha Natyadaraha Yatha. We are unable to see the Natha, the actor. The original self of the actor can't be seen as long as he is wearing the entire ornamentation, the makeup and the dress as an actor on the stage. Just like that, we are unable to see because of the coverings. Always remember, Bhagavatam conveys two things. One, bhakti, another is the underlying spiritual essence. We will again and again be reminded of the Atma Vidya. Tatha Paramahamsana Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyema Histriyaha. Now she is bringing it to the level of her own understanding as a woman. And essentially here referring to the privilege to some extent men have in being able to distance themselves and go seek the spiritual knowledge, the transcendental knowledge through their penance and through their meditation and so on and so forth. So we'll just see that to begin with. Tatha Paramahamsanam, the various sages who are extremely learned. Muninam, same. Amalatmanam, the one who are unblemished. Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyemahi Striyaha. Just as they are able to see, or in fact they are also unable to see. I think that's what it conveys. If that is the case, even the so-called those very well learned, if that is the plight, how come we as women be able to see your true self? Interesting purport written along with this sloka, which is true, is that women and men have different antennas. Men have a different way to tune into the cosmic knowledge. Women, through their love, affection, and very simple ways of dealing so many difficult problems, or they are very easy to surrender to the divine, and that is why the purport actually describes saying so many religious congregations usually, wherever you see, which is true, has a lot more women than men. So there's a difference in how the knowledge is kind of understood or received, I would say received by men and women. So we need to respect it that way and leave it there, is what my understanding is here. Not in any other way saying women are less likely to be spiritually elevated and so on. So that's not what it means. It basically means that there are different, they have different transmitters inbuilt to um, uh, receive that knowledge. So if that is the case, what is the scope for us, the women, is what she has said. And now she's saying the worldly prayer as in a personal prayer. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Krishnaya means it's in fourth case. To you, Krishna. Vasudevaya, to you, Vasudeva. Devaki Nandanaya, to you, the son of Devaki. Nanda Gopakumaraya, to you, the son of Nandas and Gopakas and so on and so forth. Govindaya, to you, the one who is also called Govinda. There are two meanings for Govinda. One, who is the cowherd, he was. Second, the one who actually kind of entertains the senses. For instance, through his flute, he would basically automatically make everybody tune into that. So that's one way. Namo Namaha, very simple prayer. So this is something you can recite, memorize, very simple prayer. Namah Pankajanaabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajaghraye. The Pankaja word is repeating a lot of times. Pankajam, Pankaja, the one that which is born out of mud. Lotus, that is lotus. Lotus has a very significant symbolic meaning in Hindu spiritual understanding. Namaha Pankajanabhaya. Nabha is the umbilicus, and from his umbilicus came the lotus, and on the lotus was seated Brahma. So therefore, Pankajanabhaya Namaha, the one who has that lotus rise out of the umbilicus, you the Narayana, my salutations. Pankajamaline, apparently another context where lotuses, the garland of lotuses, he's decorated with. Pankajanetraya, eyes which are as beautiful, delicate, elegant, whatever as the lotuses. Namaste Pankajaghraye, I don't know what that is, let us see. Feet, okay, lotus feet, yes. The one who has the lotus feet. ह्यथा हृषीकेश खलेन देवकी कंसेन रुद्धाति चिरं सुचार्पिता विमोचिताहं च सहात्मजा विभो त्वयैव नाथेन मुहुर्विपद्गणात्. Here she is referring to how he had helped save a lot of people. Lot in the sense, only one reference, which is Devaki. Yatha, he Hrishikesha, Devaki, Ruddha, the one who was crying, Sucharpita, Atichiram, Sucharpita, she has been saved. From whom? Khalena, Kamsena, the wicked Kamsa. Vimochita, she was freed, Vimochita. So Khalena Kamsena Ruddha Devaki Sucharpita Atichiram Vimochita. She was saved very quickly. Similarly, Aham, me, Cha, Saha Atmajaha, and my various offsprings. He Vibho, O Lord. Tvai Eva Nathena, Tvaya Eva Nathena, Muhuhu Vipadganat. Again and again, Muhuhu, again and again, we have all been saved by you. Vishan Mahagnehe Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhayaha Vanavasa Krichrataha Mridhe Neka Maharathastratho Draunyastrataschasma Hare Bhirakshitaha. From various things, now she is describing. Vishan, we were poisoned, you saved us. Mahagnehe, the entire wooden palace was set on fire, you saved us. I don't remember how exactly. I didn't read Mahabharatam yet.
The
Hmm?
Lac Palace.
I know,
The
but how
Lac
did
Palace.
Krishna come to save?
He will direct one of the fellows to lead them out of the tunnel.
Through the tunnel. Okay, right, okay. Purushada Darshanat. Apparently, he also saved them from man-eaters, cannibals, and so on. I think that must be where Bhima goes to kill him. Is it? I can't remember.
Bhima, he is
Yeah.
drowned.
Okay. Then Asat Sabhayaha, that wicked Sabha in which there was gambling and they were cheated. From that you saved. Maybe he came and saved Draupadi, right? Vanavasa Krichrataha, various sufferings we had when we were in the exile, you saved us. Mrudhe Aneka Maharatha Astrataha. Again and again in the war itself, when various kings and warriors have been releasing weapons, you saved us. Draunyastrataha, you saved us. Very recently, you saved us from the Ashwathama's arrows. Hare Abhirakshitaha. We have been saved by you. Oh Hare. Vipadassantuta Shashvat Tatra Jagadguru Bhavato Darshanam Yasyat Apunar Bhava Darshanam. So this became the basis for me to write a blog only a couple of days ago, and I've shared it as well if you would want to read it. विपदः सन्तुताः शश्वत्तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतः दर्शनं यत्स्यात् अपुनर्भवदर्शनम्. What does it mean? Vipadah, dangers, from the dangers. Santutaha shashvat, santu, let it be so. Let them be so. Taha vipadah, shashvat, again and again, tatra tatra jagadguru. Whenever and wherever there are going to be calamities, so them be. We want to have them. In fact, it's almost like saying we want to have more and more calamities in our lives. Why? She says, Bhavatah darshanam yat syat. Because only then we get to see you. It's basically saying when things are going on fine, he's not to be seen because they are managing okay. But when things have not been going great, he has been there to rescue them, is what she had earlier said. Now comes the interesting twist, which is that what is the reason that she wants to see him repeatedly? She wants to see him repeatedly. She wants to face the difficulties now so that these material difficulties mean nothing in front of the cosmic gain that she is going to get. What is the cosmic gain? There will not be a rebirth anymore. So that's what she is saying. Yat syat apunarbhava darshanam. That punarbhava, the recycling, reincarnation, the cyclical reincarnation, I don't need to see it anymore. So it's a golden opportunity I have. I would rather face all the difficulties and calamities in this life and suffer. Now we twist it around. Let us say you don't have any difficulties in this life. Let's take it to our level now. Everything is smooth sailing. Everything is so smooth sailing that you feel completely in control. It all depends on how you take it though. Some wise people may say things are all going so well because there is an underlying meaning that I should utilize this opportunity to do something better. That is the wise man understanding the privilege. But a lot may actually kind of utilize it for very wrong reasons. They're entertaining themselves endlessly. They become extremely lazy, inefficient, and they don't see any pain. And one fine day when pain comes, they don't have the resilience to cope with. And that is when instead of actually kind of wanting the divine deliverance, they may be cursing the God that there is no God, God is cruel and this and that and so on. Now people go through, yesterday I was watching Gladiator movie again after a long time. And those days Romans were still kind of ancestral worshippers and he worships his ancestors. Unfortunately, during the course of the movie, he loses his family, he becomes a slave, and he has a tattoo of his some divine message or whatever they're supposed to have, a tattoo on his arm. He starts digging it with a weapon. Basically, he's damaging it. He's erasing it deliberately. He's removing the tattoo. And when somebody is asking, why are you doing that? Aren't you going to draw wrath of the gods? He says, yes, I'm doing it. And in a way, he smiles saying, yes, that's what I'm trying to do. Because he's lost faith in the gods. But of course, he regains it. And he is respectful there afterwards. But it's a momentary thing. Those are understandable. So the momentary things are understandable. Because people do regain composure and they get on with it. So the point here is that let there be calamities so that I'm reminded of it. Only when somebody is going through difficulties do they think of a God, don't they? In fact, of course, Bhagavad Gita says there are 4 types of people who actually pray for me. Chaturvidha bhajante mam janaha sukritano arjuna arto jignasu artharti jnani cha bharatarshambha. So there are 4 types of people who worship me. They are artha, the ones who are in sorrow. Jignasu, the one who is curious. Artharti, the one who wants wealth. Jnani, the most knowledgeable one. So these are the 4 types of people who actually call for me. It is understood. So this is also one way to call the God into action. Right or wrong is not the point here. The point is it happens. But the more I see you, the more purified I get, and I don't need to face another life is the essence of it. We'll do, we'll try and reach up to 30 if we can. Shloka number 30. If not, we will end earlier than that. It's okay. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribihi Edhamana Puman Naivar Hatyabhidatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. Okay, this one also became, I sat with this for almost like 2 or 3 hours earlier and wrote an article on this as well. Janma Aishwarya, this goes along with the earlier one in a way. Those who are privileged, earlier those who are in suffering, they get reminded, but those who are privileged, they don't get reminded, right? We already spoke about it. So that is what it is here. Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shribihi. Those who are privileged with high birth, Aishwaryam, lot of wealth and fame, whatever it is. Shruta, high education. Shribihi, I think, yeah. So Aishwarya and Shri should possibly go hand in hand. So all these obtained by people, na eva arhati ityabhidatum vaihi tu tvam akinchana gocharam. They are not eligible because they are so absorbed in those kind of indulgences. They do not have any spiritual wealth. They have the material wealth, but they don't have the spiritual wealth. Not in a condescending way. I think this tends to be a flaw if we don't pay attention to it, as we said earlier. So parenting has to also be very careful in that sense. Very rich and powerful, very well-to-do parents should make sure that their children are grounded and they are not lost in that enormous wealth and all those things. So if they are grounded and they do kind of see small failures here and there, their resilience increases, they build their own personality, they learn what failures are and so on, and they'll therefore be in a lot more better spiritual state, and that is what the whole point is. Otherwise, they are not eligible to receive the grace of you, because akinchana gocharam, you are the one who actually kind of is there, who ensures that those who have that little bit of material distress and are seeking your blessings, you are always there to help them. Namo kinchana vittaya nivritta guna vrittaye atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namaha. Another prayer again, a different one this time, again at a more impersonal level. So namaha akinchana vittaya, the one who puts the seed for those kind of me to basically say I don't have anything to do with these opulences and these worldly matters. That kind of inclination is provided. Akinchana vittaya, vittam is the seed. Nivritta gunavrittaye, the one who also helps remove those kind of traits which will drag me into the material existence. Instead, I'm able to take sannyasa. I'm able to go beyond the senses, the preoccupation of the senses. That you are providing in me, or in your bhaktas, in your devotees. So to you, the one who provides that, my salutations. Atma Ramaya, the one who also actually allows, or two ways. You are self-sufficient in yourself. You are rejoicing within yourself. And same goes with all the bhaktas. They are rejoicing within themselves. Shantaya, you are the one who are always in a blissful state. To you, my salutations. Kaivalya Pataye Namaha, and you are also the Lord of that oneness, that state of oneness. To you, my salutations. Again, a beautiful one. So, so many prayers in this particular chapter. मन्ये त्वां कलमीशानाम् अनाधिनिधनं विभुं समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मिथः कलिः. Again another prayer. Manye tvam kalam ishanam anadhinidhanam vibhum. I think, I believe, aham manye, I believe you to be kalam, time, eternal time. Isham, the one who is the controller. Then what? Ishanam, anadhinidhanam. There is no beginning and there is no end to you. Vibhum, you are the Lord. Samam charantam sarvatra, everywhere you exist in the same way. Samam charantam, the samadrashti that we should have in everyone, everything, that I am the Atman and everything is the same as me, and that kind of a thing. And the thing is, you are there equal in everything and everyone and everywhere. Bhutanam yat mitaha kalihi. That will have a look. Yat mitaha kalihi. Okay. So, what is that? The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. Okay. Whatever differences that may arise later on is more of a material, worldly affair. But otherwise, you are the all pervading, eternal time, supreme controller, the one who has no beginning and no end, and you are there equally present in everything, everyone, everywhere. I think we'll stop there. This shloka is a little, it'll take some time. We'll stop there at 28, and also it's time as well, 1.5 hours. All right. Who do we have today? Oh yeah, okay. Who left? Oh, Karanji is not here. Right. Okay, so anything to discuss? Anything you want to share or ask? Karthik, would you like to introduce yourself? Thank you for joining the last few sessions.